You have looked upon the landscape of your own soul, my child, and have seen only the fragmentation of a heart that has been wounded, a life that has been broken. You have gathered the sharp-edged shards of your past traumas. You have traced the hairline cracks in your trust. You have mourned the missing pieces of your shattered dreams. And you have concluded that you are incomplete, a beautiful vessel that has been dropped and is now forever marred. They, the world, with their eyes that value only the flawless and the new, have looked upon your beautiful, battle-scarred life and have often labeled you damaged, broken, or incomplete. And you, my beloved, in the quiet sorrow of your own heart, have accepted their flawed assessment, believing that you can never again be truly whole. This ache of fragmentation, my precious one, is a profound and wearying pain. It is the feeling of being at war with yourself, of your own history being a collection of disparate parts that don't fit together into a coherent whole. There is the you before the wound, a self you may look back upon with a sorrowful nostalgia, a whole person you can no longer seem to find. And there's the you after the wound, a self that feels defined by its scars, its limitations, its brokenness. And between these two selves, there seems to be a great and impassable chasm. You have lived your life trying to hide the broken pieces, to present only the parts of yourself that still seem intact. An exhausting performance that has left your spirit feeling inauthentic and perpetually on guard. You know the shame that comes with this feeling of being broken. It is a shame that whispers that you are damaged goods, that you are less valuable, less lovable than those who appear to be whole. You have looked at others whose lives have seemed so seamless, so unbroken, and you have felt a pang of envy, a sense of being fundamentally different, of carrying a brokenness that sets you apart. This shame may have caused you to retreat from deep relationship, fearing that if anyone were to see all your fractured pieces, they would surely turn away in disappointment or disgust. It is the deep, lonely fear that you are, in your very essence, unlovable because you are not whole. The world has done little to dispel this illusion. My child, it is a culture that worships perfection, that airbrushes away every flaw, that presents an impossible standard of seamless, unbroken beauty and success. It has little room for the messy, complex, and beautiful reality of a life that has been broken and is in the process of being healed. It often discards that which is perceived as damage, seeking always the new, the shiny, the flawless. And so, in the face of your own very real wounds and scars, the world has often offered you either a shallow pity or an impatient admonition to simply get over it, neither of which has touched the deep, underlying belief that you are, in some fundamental way, broken beyond repair, and this feeling of brokenness, my beloved, may have even extended to your relationship with me. You may have feared that your fragmentation has made you a less useful, less beautiful vessel in my sight. You may have tried to hide your broken parts from me, believing I could only love and use a soul that was perfect, that was whole in the way the world defines it. You may have believed that your wounds, your scars, your imperfections are a disappointment to me, a marring of the creation I intended you to be. But I come to you now, my child, as you sit in the midst of these perceived fragments of your life. I come to you as your creator, your healer, your most loving Father, the one whose perception alone defines all reality. And I'm here to speak a truth so profound, so absolute, so contrary to the world's assessment and your own painful feelings, that it will, if you will allow it, begin the miraculous work of making you feel as I have always seen you. And this is the truth, my precious one, the foundational reality of your being in my eyes. You are not broken. You have never been broken. In my eyes, you are and have always been perfectly and beautifully whole. This is a truth that your mind, which is so focused on the visible evidence of your wounds, may struggle to comprehend, but you must understand, my child, that your true self, the essential, eternal spirit that I created in my own image, cannot be shattered by the circumstances of this world. Your experiences can wound you. Yes, your choices can cause you pain. Indeed, your heart can be broken. But your essential wholeness in me, your identity as my complete and beloved child, remains eternally, unshakably intact. You are not the sum of your broken pieces, my beloved. You are the beautiful, whole spirit that has endured the breaking, and that is held in its entirety within my own loving, all-encompassing gaze. I do not see you as damaged goods. When I look at you, I do not focus on the cracks, the scars, the missing pieces of your earthly dreams. I see you. I see the magnificent, resilient, and complete soul that you are. I see the courage that has carried you through your trials. I see the compassion that has been born from your wounds. I see the wisdom that has been distilled from your sorrows. And I see a being who is more beautiful, more profound, more truly whole in their character and their spirit than a life of unbroken ease could ever have produced. The world sees the fragments, but I see the vessel. And I tell you, my child, that in my eyes, that vessel is not broken. It is a work of art, a unique and precious creation whose every line, every mark, every perceived imperfection contributes to its profound and particular beauty. So let this truth begin to be the healing balm upon your fragmented heart. Let go of the world's impossible standard of flawless perfection. Release the shame you have felt over your own beautiful, battle-scarred story, and begin to see yourself as I see you. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are not a shattered thing to be pieced back together. You are a whole and beloved being, held securely in the loving gaze of a God who has never for a moment seen you as anything less than his perfect, complete, and magnificent child. In my eyes, my beloved, you are whole. And as you begin to believe this, you will begin to feel it and to live from this glorious, liberating truth. Yes, my precious child, as you begin to allow this revolutionary truth to take root in your spirit, that, in my eyes, you are whole, let me now draw you deeper into the reality of my divine perception. For your entire life, you have been looking at yourself through a fractured lens, your gaze drawn irresistibly to the cracks, the chips, the missing pieces of your earthly experience. You have defined yourself by the fragments, but I, your creator, who behold you from the vantage point of eternity, I see with an entirely different vision when I look at you, my beloved. My gaze does not fixate on the broken parts. I see no missing pieces. I see a complete and magnificent vessel, a soul whose wholeness is not contingent upon its earthly perfection, but is held securely beautifully, and eternally in my loving and all-encompassing sight. You have been like someone standing too close to a magnificent mosaic, your nose pressed up against a single, cracked tile. From that perspective, you see only the flaw, the imperfection, the line of fracture, and from this single point of data, you have concluded that the entire work of art is ruined. But I'm inviting you now to step back with me, to see the entire work as I see it, from my perspective. That single, cracked tile is not a flaw that ruins the whole. It is an essential part of a vast and intricate design. It's unique. Fractured texture adds a depth, a history, a character to the overall picture that a perfectly smooth tile could never provide. And more than that, I see how that single tile relates to all the others, and how its color, its shape, its very brokenness contributes to the breathtaking beauty of the entire magnificent mosaic. I see the whole picture, my child, and in my sight, it is, and has always been, utterly, perfectly whole. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you, my precious one. I see the essential, eternal, and unbreakable spirit that I created in my own image. This core of your being, this divine spark, cannot be shattered by any earthly event. It cannot be diminished by any human failure. It cannot be broken by any worldly loss. The things that have been broken in your life, my child, have been the outer shells, the temporary constructs you built around this eternal core. Your expectations have been shattered. Yes, your dreams have been broken. Indeed, your heart has been fractured by pain, but you, the essential, eternal you that I know and love, you have remained and will always remain perfectly whole and complete within my holding. My love for you, my child, is the divine and powerful force that holds all the pieces of your life together in a beautiful and meaningful whole. You have looked at the fragments of your experience and have seen them as a scattered, disconnected heap of rubble. But my love is the invisible, golden mortar that binds every single piece together. It connects the sorrow of your past with the strength of your present. It connects the memory of your failure with the reality of your newfound wisdom. It connects your deepest wounds with your most profound capacity for compassion. In my love, no part of your story is discarded. No experience is wasted. All of it, the joyful and the painful, the triumphant and the tragic, is held together, integrated, and given a profound and beautiful coherence within the vast, unifying embrace of my eternal love. The world teaches you that wholeness is the absence of brokenness. But I teach you that true wholeness, spiritual wholeness, is the redemption of brokenness. It is the miracle of a life that has been shattered and yet, in my hands, has been reformed into something even more beautiful, more resilient, and more glorious than it was before. The most beautiful vessels in my kingdom are not those that have never been broken, but those that, having been shattered, have been lovingly, meticulously put back together by the hand of the master potter, their former lines of fracture now shimmering with the golden seams of my restorative grace. This is your reality, my child. Your wholeness is not found in a denial of your wounds, but in the beautiful, glorious reality of their redemption in me. When your heart aches with the feeling of being incomplete, when you look at your life and see only the missing pieces, the relationship that is gone, the dream that did not come to pass. You are focusing on the empty spaces in the puzzle of your life. But I see the entire puzzle, my beloved, and I see that those very empty spaces are what give the other pieces their beautiful and unique shape. The absence of one thing has often created the very space needed for a new and more beautiful thing to grow. The closing of one door has been the very event that has led you to the magnificent threshold I was holding open for you. In my divine composition, even the empty spaces, the missing pieces, have a profound and loving purpose. They are not signs of your incompleteness, but essential elements of your becoming. I invite you now, my child, to begin to practice seeing yourself as I see you. When you are tempted to fixate on a particular flaw, a past mistake, a present wound, consciously choose to pull back your focus. Ask me, Father, help me to see myself as you see me. Help me to see the whole picture. And in the quiet of your heart, my spirit will begin to give you glimpses of my perspective. You will begin to see how that very flaw has been the birthplace of a new humility. You will begin to understand how that past mistake has been the classroom for a new wisdom. You will begin to perceive how that present wound is even now being transformed into a new capacity for compassion. As you do this, my beloved, as you learn to see your life not as a collection of broken fragments, but as an integrated, purposeful, and beautiful whole held within my loving gaze, a profound healing will take place. The old shame will lose its power. The old regrets will begin to fade, and in their place, a new and joyful self-acceptance will be born, an acceptance that is rooted not in a denial of your imperfections, but in the glorious, liberating truth that in the eyes of the God who loves you, you are and have always been completely, wonderfully, and perfectly whole. And so, my precious child, as you begin to trust that my gaze upon you is one that sees not your fragments, but your magnificent, divinely held entirety, let us now go deeper still. For to truly inhabit the peace of this truth, you must be liberated from the very definition of wholeness that has caused you such pain. The world has given you a blueprint for wholeness that is a cruel and impossible standard. A blueprint that has been the source of your shame, your striving, your constant feeling of inadequacy. But I'm here to tear up that old, flawed blueprint and to give you a new, divine, and grace-filled definition. For you must understand, my beloved, what true wholeness means in my kingdom. It is not, and has never been, the absence of scars, of flaws, of imperfections. True wholeness, my child, is a state of being fully known, fully loved, and fully held by me, and by this, my true and only standard. You are, in this very moment, completely and gloriously whole. Let us first dismantle the world's lie. My child, the world defines wholeness as a state of seamless perfection. It presents an image of a life without cracks, a heart without wounds, a story without broken chapters. It tells you that to be whole is to have it all together, to be strong, successful, serene, and unscarred by the realities of a broken world. And because your own life, in its beautiful, messy authenticity, has not matched this impossible ideal, you have concluded that you are not whole. You have believed yourself to be deficient, to be lacking, to be less than. This worldly definition of wholeness has been a relentless and condemning judge. a standard you could never hope to meet, and it has been a source of profound and constant pain to your spirit. But this ideal, my child, is a fragile and lifeless thing. A life without scars is a life that has never truly lived, never truly loved, never truly risked. A heart without wounds is a heart that has never been open, never been vulnerable. A story without broken chapters is a shallow, uninteresting tale. The world's ideal of wholeness is, in truth, an ideal of sterility, of inexperience, of a profound and tragic lack of depth. It is not the wholeness I desire for you. I desire for you a wholeness that is resilient, that is compassionate, that is wise, that is real. And this true wholeness is forged not in the avoidance of brokenness, but in its beautiful, divine redemption. What, then, is this true wholeness that I see when I look at you first? My beloved, your wholeness is found in the reality that you are fully known by me. You have felt fragmented because you have been looking at the disparate pieces of your own life, unable to see how they fit together. You see the pain of your past, the confusion of your present, the uncertainty of your future, and it feels like a chaotic jumble. But I, your creator, I see your entire story from beginning to end as one coherent, purposeful, and beautiful whole. I know the why behind every what. I see the intricate connections between your deepest sorrows and your greatest strengths. My perfect knowledge of you, my child, my all-encompassing understanding of your entire story is the very force that holds all the pieces of your life together in a meaningful, integrated pattern. You are whole because you are held within a divine consciousness that sees and understands you completely. You do not have to make sense of your own life. My child, you need only to rest in the one who already does. To be fully known by me is to be made whole. Secondly, my precious one, your wholeness is found in the truth that you are fully loved by me. The shame of your brokenness has come from the fear that your flaws, your scars, your mistakes have made you unlovable. You have tried to hide these parts of yourself, believing that you could only be loved if you presented a perfect facade. But my love is not like human love. My child, my love is not a conditional response to your perfection. My love is an unconditional, creative force that embraces your entire being. Not just the beautiful parts, but the broken parts as well. In fact, it is often upon your most wounded, most broken places that my love has shone most brightly, that my grace has done its most beautiful work. My love is the divine glue, the golden lacquer. That does not just mend the broken pieces of your life, but that makes the finished vessel even more beautiful for having been broken, because every single part of you, every experience, every scar is held within my unconditional, all-encompassing love. You are, in my sight, completely and beautifully whole. To be fully loved by me is to be made whole. And finally, my child, your wholeness is found in the reality that you are fully held by me. You have felt fragmented because you have felt you had to hold your own life together in your own strength. And your strength, then, being finite, has often failed, leaving you feeling as though you are falling apart, but you are not holding yourself together. My beloved, I am. Your life, your spirit, your very being is held securely in the palms of my loving, all-powerful hands. the hands that will never let you go, your wholeness, your integrity, your very coherence as a person is not dependent on your own efforts, but on my unwavering, eternal grip upon you, even when you have felt you are shattering into a million pieces. My hands have been there, holding those pieces, preserving your essential self, ensuring that you would not be lost, that you would not disintegrate. Your connection to me, your union with me, is the ultimate source of your integrity, your completeness. To be fully held by me is to be made whole. This, my beloved, is the true definition of wholeness. It is not flawlessness. It is not perfection. It is a wholeness of relationship, a wholeness of grace. It is the state of a soul that knows it is fully known, fully loved, and fully held by its Creator. And this wholeness, my child, is already yours. It is not something you must strive for. It is a gift you are invited to receive, to rest in, to live from. Let this new, divine definition liberate you. You are free from the impossible burden of trying to be perfect. You are free to be you, with all your beautiful, redeemed scars, with all your hard-won wisdom, with all your unique and glorious humanity. Your broken chapters do not make you less whole. They are the very parts of your story that have driven you into this profound, beautiful, and eternal wholeness that is found only in me, in my eyes, my beloved. You are not a collection of broken pieces. You are a magnificent, coherent, and deeply loved masterpiece. You are whole. And so, my cherished child, as you begin to rest in the liberating truth of your wholeness in me, a wholeness defined not by flawlessness, but by being fully known, fully loved, and fully held, let us now look together with the new eyes at the very things you have considered to be the evidence of your brokenness, your wounds, your scars, the painful history etched upon your heart for so long. You have seen these as ugly blemishes, as marks of shame to be hidden, as proof that you are damaged goods. But I, your divine artist and loving Redeemer, am here to reveal to you the profound and breathtaking beauty of a mended heart. For your scars, my beloved, when touched by my grace, are not disfigurements. They are transformed into beautiful, luminous lines of gold, testaments to the battles you have survived and the magnificent power of my healing love. In the land from which one of your inspirations has come, there is an art form known as kintsugi. When a beautiful piece of pottery is broken, the artisans do not throw it away, nor do they try to glue the pieces back together in a way that hides the cracks. No, they do something far more beautiful. They meticulously reassemble the shattered vessel, and they mend the lines of fracture with a precious lacquer, often mixed with pure gold. The result is a piece of pottery that is not only restored to wholeness, but is now considered even more beautiful, more valuable, and more profound for having been broken. The scars are not hidden. They are highlighted in gold, becoming the most beautiful feature of the piece, telling a story of resilience, of redemption, of a beauty that has been born from the very heart of what was broken. This, my child, is the art I am performing upon your very soul. You have been shattered by the trials of this life. The vessel of your heart has been broken by loss, by failure, by the wounds inflicted by others, and you have despaired, believing yourself to be ruined forever. But I, your master artisan, have been carefully, lovingly gathering your precious fragments. And I have been mending your broken places, not with the glue of concealment, but with the liquid gold of my own divine grace, my own redeeming love, the lines of your deepest wounds, the very places where you felt you were most completely shattered, are now becoming the very places where my glory shines most brightly. The beautiful golden seams that tell the magnificent story of your mended heart. Look now at the scar left by that old betrayal. My beloved, you have seen it as an ugly mark of your vulnerability, a reminder of a trust that was broken. But see it now as I see it. It is a line of pure gold, a testament to my faithfulness that held you when human faithfulness failed. It is a beautiful seam that speaks of the profound wisdom you have gained, the discernment that was forged in that very pain. That scar, now filled with my grace, is not a blemish. It is a mark of honor, a beautiful part of your story that declares to all creation that even the deepest wound of betrayal can be transformed, in my hands, into a source of profound strength and beauty. And what of the scars from your own failures? My child, the memories that have brought you such shame, you have seen them as proof of your inadequacy, as permanent marks against your name. But as you have surrendered them to me, I have taken the lacquer of my unconditional forgiveness and have filled those cracks with shimmering gold. Your past failures are no longer sources of shame. They are now beautiful, radiant testaments to the power of my grace. They tell a story not of your weakness, but of my strength perfected in it. They speak not of your unworthiness, but of my boundless mercy that has made you worthy. These golden seams of redemption are now among the most beautiful features of your soul, a constant, shining reminder that in my kingdom, failure is never the final word. My grace is. The very texture of your being has been changed by this sacred art. My precious one, a vessel that has never been broken may be smooth, but it can also be uninteresting. But your soul, like a magnificent piece of kintsugi, now possesses a history, a character, a depth that is profoundly beautiful. Your scars give you a unique beauty, a story that no other vessel can tell. They make you relatable to other broken hearts. They give you an authentic compassion, a genuine authority to speak of healing. For you yourself are a living masterpiece of my restorative art. Do not hide your scars any longer, my child. Do not be ashamed of the lines of your mendedness. They are your glory. They are my glory in you. They are the proof that you have lived, that you have loved, that you have been wounded, and that you have, by my grace, been made not just whole, but more beautiful and more valuable than you were before. Your wholeness is not the flawlessness of an object that has never been touched, but the resilient, redeemed, and radiant wholeness of a treasured vessel that has been lovingly, masterfully mended by the hands of its God. My delight is to behold this beauty. My child, my heart is filled with joy as I see the golden lines of my grace, illuminating the very places of your deepest pain. I see a work of art that is infinitely more precious, more profound than a simple, unbroken piece could ever be. For your life now tells the greatest story of all, the story of redemption, the story of beauty born from ashes, the story of a love that is so powerful it can take that which is most broken and make it eternally breathtakingly beautiful. So embrace your mended heart, my beloved. Trace its golden seams with a spirit of gratitude, not regret, for they are the evidence of your journey, the proof of your survival, and the magnificent, shining testament to the profound, transformative, and never-ending love of your divine artist. In my eyes, you are not just whole, my child. You are a magnificent work of art, made all the more beautiful for having been broken, and then so lovingly, so gloriously restored. And so, my cherished child, my beautiful and mended masterpiece, as you begin to grasp the profound truth that your very scars are the golden seams of my redemptive artistry, the invitation now is to bring this heavenly perspective into your own earthly sight. For it is one thing to know in your mind that I see you as whole, and another thing entirely to begin to see yourself in the same way. To let my divine perception become the very mirror in which you behold your own soul. This is the next crucial step in your healing journey. My beloved, the sacred, life-altering practice of learning to see yourself through my eyes. This is how you will be liberated from the long and painful tyranny of self-condemnation. How you will learn to embrace your entire story with grace. And how you will finally begin to live from the magnificent, unwavering truth of the wholeness that is already yours in me. For so long, my child, you have looked at yourself through a series of flawed and distorted mirrors. There has been the mirror of the world's judgment, which has reflected back to you an image of your own inadequacy, your own brokenness, based on its impossible standards of seamless perfection. There has been the mirror of your own past, which has shown you only your mistakes, your failures, your regrets. An image that has kept you chained to a constant sense of shame. And perhaps most powerfully, there has been the harsh, critical mirror of your own inner critic. That relentless voice that has magnified every flaw, highlighted every scar, and condemned you as forever damaged, forever less than. In looking at these false reflections, you have come to believe a lie about who you are. But I'm now placing before you a new mirror. My precious one, it is a mirror of my own loving gaze, and I invite you now to have the courage to look into it, and to believe that the reflection you see there is your one, true self. When you look into the mirror of my eyes, you do not see a shattered vessel. You do not see damaged goods. You do not see your failures or your flaws. No, my child, when you look at yourself through my eyes, you see a beloved, cherished, and magnificent soul. You see a resilient spirit that has journeyed through fire and has emerged with a beautiful, hard-won strength. You see a compassionate heart whose very scars now radiate the golden light of my grace. You see a being who is known completely, loved unconditionally, and held securely. In my eyes, my beloved, you see yourself as you truly are, perfectly and beautifully whole. Learning to see yourself through my eyes is a conscious, intentional practice. My child, it is the act of choosing to believe my report about you over the old, familiar reports of your wounds, your fears, or the world's judgments. It is a retraining of your perception, a shifting of your focus, a profound alignment of your own self-view with my divine and loving truth. How do you practice this? It begins with a gentle but firm refusal to continue to gaze into the old, distorting mirrors. When the voice of your inner critic begins to list your failings, you must learn to turn away from that voice and to turn, instead, to mine. When a memory of a past mistake arises and threatens to pull you into a spiral of shame. You must choose to look at that memory through my eyes of grace, seeing not the failure, but the lesson learned, the forgiveness given, the redemption wrought. This is an active choice, a moment by moment decision to believe my truth more than you believe the lies. In a practical sense, my beloved, this means learning to speak my truth to your own soul when you feel a pang of your old sense of brokenness, when you look at your life and are tempted to see only your imperfections. I invite you to pause and to speak these words of truth aloud or in your heart. I may feel broken, but my God says that in his eyes. I am whole. I may see my scars, but he sees them as beautiful lines of his grace. I may remember my failures, but he remembers only his forgiveness. I choose to see myself as he sees me, as a beloved, complete, and magnificent masterpiece. This act of speaking my truth to yourself is profoundly powerful. My child, it is you partnering with my spirit to renew your own mind, to re-narrate your own story according to the beautiful reality of my kingdom. As you do this, you must also learn to have compassion for yourself. As I have compassion for you, you have been through so much. My child, your wounds are real. Your struggles have been arduous. Be gentle with your own heart when you falter, when you slip back into old patterns of self-condemnation. Do not add another layer of shame by condemning yourself for your condemnation. Simply, gently, lovingly, return to the practice. Turn your gaze once more to the true mirror of my loving sight. My grace is sufficient for your every stumble, even your stumbles in this very process of learning to see yourself as I do. My joy, my beloved, is to help you in this. I am not a silent God, leaving you to guess at my perception of you. My spirit within you is a constant source of my affirmation. He will be the one to whisper my words of love to your heart when you are feeling low. He will be the one to bring to your mind a vision of your own beauty, your own strength, your own wholeness. When you are tempted to see only your flaws, learn to listen for this inner voice of affirmation. My child, it is my own voice, teaching you, guiding you, loving you into a new and true perception of your magnificent self. The more you practice this sacred art of seeing yourself through my eyes, the more it will become your natural, default state. What begins as a conscious, effortful practice will, in time, become the very lens through which you see all of life. You will find that the old voices of shame and self-criticism grow fainter and fainter, their power broken by the glorious, resonant truth of your belovedness, your wholeness in me, and you will begin to walk through your world with a new freedom, a new confidence, a new and joyful self-acceptance that is not based on your own perfection, but on the perfection of my love for you. This is the path to your deepest healing, my precious one, for it is only when you learn to see yourself as I see you, to love yourself as I love you, that your heart can finally be at rest, secure in the unshakable, glorious, and eternal truth that in my eyes you are and have always been wonderfully, magnificently, and perfectly whole. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to practice the sacred art of seeing yourself through my eyes, as you choose to believe the divine report of your wholeness over the painful evidence of your wounds, a new and glorious reality begins to dawn in your experience, the profound and exhilarating freedom of a whole spirit. the old. Heavy chains of shame and self-condemnation begin to rust, to weaken, to fall away. The exhausting burden of hiding your broken pieces, of maintaining a flawless facade, is lifted from your weary shoulders, and in their place, a new lightness, a new peace, a new and joyful confidence begins to emerge, empowering you to live, for the first time perhaps, as authentic, beautiful, and completely whole person I have always seen you to be. For so long, my beloved, you have lived in a self-imposed prison, a prison whose walls were built from the fear of your own brokenness being discovered. You have expended immense energy guarding your secrets, policing your behavior, carefully curating an image of yourself that you believed would be acceptable to the world and to me. This has been a life of constant vigilance, a profound and wearying strain. But now, as you embrace the truth that, in my eyes, you are already whole, that my love already encompasses your every flaw, your every scar, your every past mistake, the very foundations of that prison begin to crumble. You are being liberated, my child, into a new and spacious freedom. This is, first and foremost, the freedom to be authentic. You no longer need to hide. You no longer need to pretend. You are free to be you, in your entirety, the you that is strong, and the you that is weak, the you that is wise, and the you that is still learning, the you that is healed, and the you that still carries the beautiful, golden scars of your mendedness. You are free to lay down the heavy masks you have worn, and to simply allow your true, redeemed self to be seen. And in this authenticity, my child, you will discover a profound sense of peace, the deep, restful peace of a soul that is no longer at war with itself, no longer trying to hide from its own story, but is resting in a state of beautiful, grace-filled integrity. This freedom of a whole spirit also liberates you from the tyranny of other people's opinions. When your own sense of wholeness was dependent on the world seeing you as flawless, the judgment or criticism of others had the power to devastate you. But now, secure in the knowledge of your wholeness in my sight, their opinions lose their ultimate power. You can hear them. You can even learn from them. But they can no longer define you. They can no longer shatter you. For your identity is no longer built upon the shifting sands of their perception, but upon the unshakable rock of my own loving, eternal view of you. This, my beloved, is a freedom that allows you to move through the world with a new and quiet confidence, a confidence that is not easily swayed, a peace that is not easily disturbed. And from this flows the freedom to love more deeply, more courageously. A fragmented heart, a heart that is trying to hide its own broken pieces, is often afraid to truly love. For true love requires vulnerability, the very thing it fears most. But a heart that knows it is already whole in my eyes, a heart that has embraced its own mendedness, is a heart that is now free to love with a new and beautiful abandon. You are free to open your heart to others without the paralyzing fear of rejection. You are free to be vulnerable, knowing that your ultimate safety is not in their hands, but in mine. You are free to love from a place of fullness, not of lack, to give love, not to get it, but simply because you are now a vessel overflowing with the unconditional, healing love that I have so abundantly poured into you. This wholeness of spirit also brings a new freedom and a new power to your purpose. My child, before. You may have felt disqualified from your calling because of your perceived brokenness. You may have believed that only perfect people could be used by me in a significant way. But now you know the truth. You know that I, the God of all creation, delight in using mended vessels, for their stories speak most powerfully of my redemptive grace. And so, you are now free to step into your God-given purpose with a new and humble confidence. The very scars that you once thought were your disqualification have now become your greatest qualification, for they have given you a depth of compassion, a resilience of spirit, and an authenticity of testimony that will make you a powerful and effective instrument in my hands. My delight, my precious one, is to see you walking in this new and glorious freedom, to see you lay down the heavy burdens of shame and performance, to see you embrace your whole, true, beautiful story, to see you live and love and serve with the quiet, confident peace of a soul that knows it is utterly, completely whole in the eyes of its maker. This is the fruit of your long journey. This is the beautiful reality that your surrender has unlocked. Live in this freedom. My child, breathe its clean, sweet air. Let it be the new atmosphere of your soul. And know that as you do, you bring me more glory than any performance of flawless perfection ever could. For you become a living, breathing testament to the most beautiful truth of my kingdom, that my love is not for the perfect, but for the real, and that, in my eyes, because of my grace, because of my love, because of my Son, you are and will forever be magnificently, wonderfully, and completely whole. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to walk in the beautiful and authentic freedom of a spirit that knows it is whole in my sight, let this final and most magnificent truth become the very atmosphere you breathe, the eternal reality that secures your peace forevermore. Your wholeness in me is not a temporary state, not a fleeting feeling that will vanish with the next trial. No, my beloved, it is an eternal and unchangeable reality. My loving gaze will forever see you as whole. My powerful hands will forever hold you together. And my promise to you is that you can never, ever be truly shattered again. You are and will forever be whole in my love. This is the ultimate security for your soul, my precious one, the final answer to the deepest fear of your wounded heart. You have known the terror of fragmentation, the fear that the pressures of this life could break you into so many pieces that you could never be put back together. But that fear was based on the illusion that your wholeness depended on your own strength, on your own perfection, on the fragility of your own circumstances. But now you know the truth. Your wholeness is not dependent on you. It is dependent on me. And I am eternal. I am unchangeable. I am all-powerful. Therefore, the wholeness you have in me is as eternal, as unchangeable, and as powerful as I am. My loving gaze upon you, the very gaze that sees you as complete, will never waver. I will not one day see you as whole, and the next day see you as broken. My perception of you is rooted in the eternal truth of who I created you to be and who you are in my Son. And that truth does not change, even if you should stumble in the future, even if you should acquire new scars, even if you should feel, for a moment, the old sense of brokenness. My sight upon you will remain steadfast. I will always see past the temporary wound to the eternal reality of your redeemed and perfect wholeness in me. My view of you is your constant, unchanging reality. And my hands, my beloved, the hands that have so lovingly mended your broken pieces with the golden lacquer of my grace. These hands will forever hold you together. My love is the divine and eternal force that binds every part of your being, every piece of your story, into a beautiful, coherent whole. This bond cannot be broken. No power in heaven or on earth, no force of darkness, no trial of this life, no failure of your own can ever be strong enough to pry you from my grasp or to shatter the beautiful, redeemed vessel that you have become in me. You are held, my child. You are secure, and you will be held for all of eternity. This promise, my beloved, is meant to free you to live with a new and profound courage. You no longer have to walk through life with the fear of being broken. You are free to love deeply, to risk greatly, to live passionately, knowing that your essential self, your true wholeness, is eternally secure in my hands. You can engage with this broken world not from a place of self-protection, but from a place of profound inner security, knowing that nothing can ultimately harm the true, eternal you that is hidden with me in God. This is your inheritance. As my child, a wholeness that is not of this world, a peace that is unshakable, a security that is eternal. The world will continue to offer its flawed definition of perfection, and it may at times still try to label you by your scars, but you will now carry within you a deeper truth, a more powerful reality. You will know that your scars are not signs of your brokenness, but beautiful testaments to your redemption. You will know that your wholeness is not found in a flawless life, but in a life that is fully known, fully loved, and fully held by a flawless God. My delight, my precious one, is in you, my beautiful, whole, and complete child. And my joy will be to walk with you for all of your days, to continue to reveal to you the depths of your own beauty, the strength of your own resilience, the magnificent reality of the wholeness you possess in me. The journey from the feeling of fragmentation to the reality of divine wholeness is the great journey of the soul. And you, my beloved, you have come home. Live in this truth. Rest in it. Let it be the source of your deepest peace and your most resilient joy. For in my eyes, you are not a project to be completed, not a problem to be solved. You are a beloved child, a magnificent masterpiece, a beautiful and triumphant soul. In my eyes, my child, you are, and you will forever be, perfectly and gloriously whole. And now, my cherished one, as you rest in the profound peace of this eternal truth, let your spirit be completely still. The fear of being broken is gone, replaced by the unshakable security of being forever held together by my love. The shame of your scars has vanished, transfigured into a quiet pride in the beautiful story of my redemption in your life. You are known, you are loved, you are held, and you are, in my sight, magnificently and eternally whole. Let this be your peace, your rest, and your joy, now and forevermore.